The ocean, vast and endless, hides a question few people ever stop to ask. Why is it blue? And why, when we stand on a beach, does the sea in front of us often look green? It's the same water, the same planet, yet two completely different colors. This isn't just about how light hits the surface. It's a secret written deep within the chemistry of life, light and water itself. Once you understand it, you'll never look at the ocean the same way again. Let's start with what most people believe, that the ocean looks blue because it reflects the sky. It sounds logical, doesn't it? A blue sky above, blue ocean below. But that's not the truth. The real reason goes far deeper than the clouds. Even under a gray, stormy sky, the ocean still looks blue. Why? Because the ocean isn't a mirror. It's a filter. And this filter has been shaped by billions of years of evolution and physics. Light from the sun might seem white, but it's actually made of all the colors we can see: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. When sunlight hits the ocean, those colors start to separate. The water molecules absorb the red, orange, and yellow wavelengths first, leaving only the blue and a bit of green to scatter back toward our eyes. That's why, the deeper the ocean, the bluer it appears. The reds vanish in the first 10 meters, the oranges fade after 20, and by the time you reach the dark zones below 100 meters, blue is all that remains. But the sea isn't always deep. In shallower areas, the story changes. Coastal waters, lagoons, and continental shelves are full of microscopic life. Phytoplankton, tiny plants that float freely in the sunlight. These organisms contain chlorophyll, the same green pigment found in leaves. Chlorophyll absorbs red and blue light, but it reflects green, giving the water that emerald tint we see along the coast. The more plankton, the greener the sea becomes. In other words, the color of the sea can actually tell you how alive it is. Think about that for a moment. Color as a sign of life. The deep blue of the ocean means emptiness, pure water with little to no life. The green of the sea means abundance, millions of living organisms transforming sunlight into oxygen. So the next time you look at a turquoise bay, you're not just seeing a pretty color. You're witnessing the heartbeat of the planet, alive and thriving just beneath the surface. Yet there's another element in this story: depth. When the ocean is shallow, the light hits the seafloor and bounces back through the water, mixing colors in unpredictable ways. Sand, coral, and even volcanic rock can shift the tone dramatically. That's why some tropical waters look bright turquoise, while others appear almost golden. It's a dance between sunlight, water, and the hidden world beneath. Now imagine you're thousands of miles from shore, floating above the abyss where the ocean floor drops 10,000 meters below. The sunlight barely touches it. Down there, only a faint, cold blue survives. That light you see isn't reflection. It's scattering. Every ray that enters the water bends, breaks, and bounces off countless molecules until only the bluest frequencies survive the journey back to your eyes. It's pure physics and pure beauty. But here's something most people never realize. The ocean doesn't have a color of its own. What we see depends entirely on where we stand and what fills the water at that moment. Near the poles, where cold water is rich in oxygen but low in plankton, the ocean turns a deep sapphire blue. Near the equator, with warm, nutrient-rich waters, the greenish hue dominates. Nature paints with a living palette that changes every hour of every day. And this is where our story takes a deeper turn. Because the color of the ocean doesn't just affect what we see, it affects life itself. Marine creatures have evolved to survive in specific wavelengths of light. Some fish can see ultraviolet colors invisible to humans. Others glow in the dark, using bioluminescence to communicate in a world where sunlight never reaches. Even the color blue, so peaceful to us, is a signal in the deep. A frequency that tells creatures who is predator, who is prey, and who is safe. That means the ocean's color isn't just an illusion, it as a code. a language written in light. Every shade, from turquoise to midnight blue, carries information about depth, temperature, nutrients, and life. Scientists can even use satellite images to read this code from space, tracking algae blooms, studying climate change, and predicting the health of entire ecosystems just by watching how the color shifts across the surface. Now, before we dive deeper, take a second to imagine this. If the ocean could speak, what would it tell us about the changes happening right now? Global warming, pollution, and overfishing are all altering that natural balance. The blue we admire might one day fade, replaced by murky greens or brownish hues. That's why learning about it matters. If you want to keep exploring mysteries like this one, the kind that hide in plain sight, waiting to be understood, subscribe to Curious Horizon. Each week, we reveal another secret of our planet's natural wonders. Let's continue. When you stand at the edge of the sea and look out to the horizon, what you're really seeing is the boundary between light and infinity. The ocean surface isn't flat. It curves with the Earth, bending light and creating that mesmerizing line that separates the world we know from the one we can only imagine. That horizon isn't just distance, it's mystery. And color is the first clue. In ancient times, sailors believed the ocean's color was a reflection of the gods' moods. A calm blue sea meant peace. A dark, almost black sea meant anger. Today, we know it's not divine wrath. It's the physics of light and water. But maybe the ancients weren't entirely wrong. The ocean's color still reflects something greater, the mood of our planet itself. When it turns murky, something in the balance of nature has shifted. When it glows bright blue, the world feels alive again. The next time you fly over the ocean and see its endless shades of blue, remember this. You're looking at sunlight that has traveled 150 million kilometers, entered the ocean, danced among molecules, and bounced back into your eyes. That single beam of light has been transformed by water, life, and time. A message from the deep, delivered in color. If you could see through all that water, you'd notice how each layer hides its own secret. The surface shimmers with light and heat. Beneath it, the thermocline divides warm from cold, where many species thrive. Deeper still, in the twilight zone, the color fades to cobalt and then to black. And yet, even there, life persists. Glowing, moving, whispering in the dark. So why is the ocean blue and the sea green? Because nature never paints with a single color. The world beneath the waves is alive, changing every second, rewriting its story through light. And that story is endless. Look again at the horizon. Somewhere out there, light is bending, water is breathing, and the color of life itself is shifting. Blue into green, green into gold, and gold into mystery. Because the ocean isn't just blue, it's alive. And as long as it breathes, it will keep writing its story across the face of our planet. One wave, one color, one secret at a time.